Tante was the Sky King, and he and his daughter Orihime were responsible for decorating the skies and all that we see in the heavens. Now Tante was responsible for making and placing each star in the sky, and Orihime, his beautiful daughter, was a very skilled weaver, and she loved to make the fine, delicate, and beautiful fabric that Tante used to make the clouds. Now, Orihime worked day and night, diligently and hard, but she despaired of ever finding love. Her father saw that she was sad and decided to surprise her. He gave her a day off work. Orihime, being overjoyed, went and danced among the stars and walked along the Amangawana, what we call the Heavenly River or the Milky Way. Now, her father set another surprise for her. He asked his cow herder, Hikiboshi, who watched the heavenly cows, who produced the Milky Way, to take his herds down where he thought his daughter would take a rest. And Orihime and Hikiboshi saw each other, and they fell in love instantly. And the Sky King started planning a celestial wedding. Now, if our story ended here, the story would have a happy ending. However, Hikiboshi and Orihime were so in love that they neglected their duties. Soon, the cows of heaven were running the celestial halls, the Milky Way was greatly diminished, and the king had run out of material to make clouds. Tante went searching the heavens for his daughter and his cowherder, and when he found them, he dragged his daughter back to the celestial halls and banished Hikiboshi to the other side of the Milky Way. Now Orihime was heartbroken at the loss of her husband, and like any good father, Tante was moved by her cries. So he made them this offer, that if they worked hard and diligently for a whole year, that they would be given one night with each other on the 7th day of the 7th month. So Orihime and Hikiboshi worked as hard as they could, and on the night that they were to meet, Orihime went down to the river of heaven and could find no bridge to cross to her husband. Despairing of ever getting to see her husband again, she stood on the banks and cried. The magpies, hearing her cries, came to her and made her an offer that night and each year on that night, they would use their wings to build a bridge for her so that she could cross to her husband. But they could not build that bridge if it rained, as their wings would become wet and they could not fly. Now, on the festival of Tanabata, young lovers especially write their wishes on brightly colored paper and set them to float down the rivers and streams, hoping that while those wishes may be anything, if those lovers are of true and honest heart, the wish that they write on that day is that night be a cloudless night, so that Orihime, who we call Vega, and Hikiboshi, who we call Altair, may meet each other in the river of heaven that we call the Milky Way. And so if you look up on the 7th day of the 7th month, that is on a clear night, that is the only time you will see those two stars meeting in the heavens. And this is the legend and the story of Tanabata.
Aww.